Pushed all the way back. Back from traveling. Shout out to everybody that, wish me safe travels. Thank you guys so much. We're back here with a reaction for Doomsday. This is the breakdown of the official trailer. I would react to the actual trailer, but they blocked it. So we're going to react to a breakdown of it. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's checking out this video. Appreciate all you guys for checking out and coming through the lineage. Like, so if you're not part of the lineage, it's going to be linked in the description. The Discord and the Twitch. Appreciate y'all. Y'all doing that thing now, yeah.
Along with the X-Men.
Just straight to it.
And then we cut to a scene of Charles Xavier, and as you can see in the reflection and everything, he's looking out the window.
That boy blinded.
Because what he is seeing is obviously a incursion that is happening in the sky. Now, from the leaks and everything we know and that we've heard, this essentially sets up the danger. This happens at the end of the opening of the film, where we witness that they have officially destroyed another universe that was colliding with their own, showing us the extent of the incursions and how the other reality is destroyed. Going off of that, we got the big money shot in this, I would say, which...
That boy Doom. That boy already set up. That boy Mr. Stark.
Shows us Doctor Doom. Obviously, it's a little glimpse of his suit. We hear the voiceover and everything, and right here, his armor just looks awesome. Like, this is stellar looking. Like, you can tell that there's still a lot of work to do on the effects, but what they got in this trailer is obviously enough that they're willing to show it, and it's pretty hot.
I'm telling you right now, if the movie was 16 hours, I'm watching 16 hours. I don't give a damn. I'm invested. I'm watching. I'm there for it. You feel me? I'm head over heels over another Avengers movie. These last projects they've been coming out with do water. Captain Falcon out here catching fucking Red Hulk swinging a pillar. Man, come on now. Let's get straight to the real.
And I will say that this does look like the armor that we've seen in most of the marketing. So it tells me this is probably a little bit later in the film because we know he's going to go through armor changes. We then have our shot of the new Avengers Tower, which honestly looks pretty great. I really like where the A is located and how it is distinctly different from the actual Avengers Tower, for sake of...
That shit's clean, though, the new Avengers. I mean, it is low as hell, though. I mean, you're going to be in, Times Square or whatever. You're going to be walking by. You can see that big ass... Usually it was, like, right here, right? If I'm not mistaken.
The branding and everything, it just looks really good. It fits what they're going for and the new Avengers aesthetic and look, I would say. And speaking of new looks, we know that there's going to be a variety of different team-ups in this film. So here is one giving us a look at the Fantastic Four. You can see all of them with Thor, and they're obviously in a vehicle.
The blue accent, you know what I'm saying? They got that shit on. I ain't gonna lie, the Fantastic... Would they put that black fit on? That black fit with the four in the middle? That shit clean. I'm like, okay. They got to throw that fit on in this movie.
Owned by the Fantastic Four. You can tell by the aesthetics and everything. And they're clearly featuring alternative attire here and slight changes. Obviously, Ben Grimm is still the same, but we know that the rest of them have subtle changes on their suit.
Yeah, that boy Johnny back there with it. Is that a fleece? He got a fleece sweatshirt on or some shit?
Including these jackets. So I just want you to pause and look at this for a second just to sort of take it in before we look at three unlikely, people standing next to each other.
Like I said, I watched the full trailer already, right? The full trailer, this shit is immensely fucking amazing. I'm already, invested. I'm like, okay, they doing all this, and Thor is the lead narrator. Oh, what? Give me Rune King Thor now.
Each other, all working together.
That boy Bucky, bro, they need to activate the Winter Soldier. I hate that they nerfed him so bad. Bro, ever since Civil War, bro, bro's not been the same, bro. When he was stepping out in that motherfucking field on that highway, we need that Bucky Barnes. I wish that, his super soldier serum wouldn't be as strong. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be as strong when he's in this natural state, when he's in this calm state, than when he's in that murderous, controlled by Hydra phase. You feel me? I thought she was
we know is he own team, and we know that Ant-Man isn't really connected to any of the teams, and he's going to sort of be a mentor to a bunch of younger Avengers, which are being obviously set up to be future Avengers. So clearly, all the different veteran characters are not on the same page, and this is Obviously, Thor explaining to them what's going on and the big threat that's coming that needs to unite them all.
I wonder how Thor found out about Doom though. Like, how did he find out that he was in the timelines and will come back to try to control them in the whole nine and taking over because of the snap? So, like I said, my theory is that after the snap, what's it called that Wolverine was? Once Tony Stark died, it ignited another timeline of an altered Tony Stark to really come into Doom's place and turn himself into what we know now as Doom. And then he gonna come through and be like, you know, fuck this shit. I'm about to wreak havoc, taking over the timelines.
Speaking of that, here's a shot of the different teams and characters.
Wonder how
together.
Loki gonna
Obviously,
come into this.
Thor is giving them a speech, and I'm gonna flip back and forth between these two because we can understand that Thor knows more about what's coming and what's going on here. Now, how he was the one to figure all this out, we don't know. I'm gonna assume
we don't know how he figured it out. That's what I'm saying. I do want to see how he figured out. Like, damn, Doom is the one's gonna come through and really go crazy. Because the X-Men, yo, if they having trouble, I don't know what this little group gonna do. If Gambit's struggling, if Iceman's struggling, we talking about Omega levels, baby. I don't know what they gonna do. Like, what? We talking about levels to this shit. We talking about Storm. We not talking about Stormbreaker. We talking about Storm. Omega level. We talking about to the molecules could change the whole atmosphere of the whole Earth with her power cycle. We talking about that type of power level. You mean to tell me, Pistol? And we got the, you know what I'm saying, John himself.
The Loki showed up to talk to him, and that possibly this is who explained it to him, and he knows now, you know, the bigger plan
Loki,
and
yeah, he is
what's
holding
at
the
risk and who's coming, because he clearly knows that Doctor Doom is coming, you know? And then, of course, there's other characters such as Namor.
That nigga Namor looks stressed. What have they put Namor through? He just signed a peace treaty with Wakanda. Well, he looks stressed the fuck out. God damn. Bro, you good?
Who's wearing a way more comic comic-like
okay, with the collar, he got that shit on.
Outfit, if you will. Which, again, I think is great here because, well, I love this outfit, and I love, like, the blue that he has on in the comics. And obviously, we know Namor is going to play a big role in this, along with Wakanda, and, of course, the Black Panther, Shuri. And M'Baku. And M'Baku. They will be bringing Wakandan forces
to the
fight. Now, obviously, we also know that Namor's people are also here, and we can see that this is probably when they go to try to reason with Namor and be like, hey, look, bad stuff is coming, and we're really going to need your help, so, like, let's put our differences aside and get things done. And speaking of needing help, well, they're going to need it because, Doctor Doom is here. Because we got these shots that I'm going to talk about later. This one shows us, well, Chris Hemsworth's Thor as he's ready to go into battle. And we can see that on the other side is Doctor Doom. We'll be back to this in a minute. Because we need to get to some other
Cyclops! To me, my X-Men. Sorry I was out of commission, but thanks for taking point.
Such as Cyclops here, who again looks straight up out of the comics and looks
out
perfect.
The comics.
And then we got a epic showdown.
Straight out of 1997.
We've heard about, which is going to be featuring Shang-Chi taking on Gambit. And from
Shang-Chi taking on Gambit. Gambit said, oh, now, come on now, it's kinetic. Wow, blow this whole bitch up.
The previews that have happened and what people have said, this is an epic battle.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be an epic battle, but I think that boy Gambit, I'm not gonna lie, but them rings, he is kind of crazy. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. His martial arts, he be fucking moving. I don't know, this battle, hold on. Now I'm trying to think. Kinetic energy versus the rings. I don't know. We talking about Gambit here, though. We ain't talking about no regular mutant.
Using the two's powers and abilities to their absolute max. And then we're gonna jump on over to a, well, Loki TVA card. Now, obviously, we don't know who this is. We all believe that this is Steve holding this, and they could also be playing with the camera work and everything and lying to
The
us.
teasing.
The reports state that Loki shows up to Steve and Peggy, and he's like, hey, look, here's what's going on. Let's go to the multiverse, and this is probably...
Oh my God, he went back in time to grab Steve after Steve went back in time to spend his life with Peggy, and then he brought him. Oh my God! Because isn't he's holding up the timelines, right? Isn't Loki holding up the timelines?
the setup scene for that.
Wow.
So next up, we get into the final part of the trailer, which just ramps up the action and, well, the anticipation for everything that's coming, and it's a lot. Behind her, and then she takes on, of course, Mystique, who ends up turning into Yelena. So Yelena versus Yelena. A shot of Magneto, really one of the only shots in this. They're clearly saving a lot more for future trailers, but still, he looks pretty awesome here, you know, talking to Charles, probably them anticipating the end of everything. And speaking of that, possibly say your final goodbyes. Here's Ant-Man talking to his daughter, because he's about to set off on that journey, and we know that they're going to have a journey of their own over the course of the next two films, so the Young Avengers will definitely be doing something. This is just hinting at the emotional stakes. So then we got a couple of different shots here focusing on the characters and the emotion that they're tossing in, you know, the relationships and everything, with some voiceovers. And
I want to see what's Doom's plot though. What is he going to do?
More quick shots of the characters doing various things, poses, setting up, you know, kind of like aura farming, if you will, as everybody says. And there's some really good shots in here. Again, just before people start complaining, many of these shots are not completely finished. There's going to be more added elements.
They're, the only person I really was talking was Thor. They're just showing shots of action, showing shots of emotion. It's not, people is going overboard with all this shit like, oh, they're just, like, bro, you can't run a narrative off a trailer where they're just showing action scenes. That's not even full action scenes. They're showing snippets of everything. It's not like you could sit here and just say, oh yeah, like what's going to happen, this is going to happen. But he is putting the story together about, you could put a story kind of together off of the pieces that they're putting out.
Again, we've seen this with Spider.
But having cement, like people be trying to say like, oh yeah, this is what's really going to happen. Like, no, bro, it's not really what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to really happen. That's the whole thing. They're teasing, they're hanging it in front of us, the anticipation of what's going to happen. But we can see this nigga Cyclops teed up.
The first to second trailer, you know what I'm saying. Like, you're seeing a lot here, emotion, final battle. Like, they're really trying to push that this is a epic story, if you will. Even teasing, of course, at the end of the trailer, the arrival of Steve Rogers, who, well, he proves he's Steve Rogers because he's worthy of wielding Mjolnir. And then the final shot, which shows us, well...
Yeah, him holding Mjolnir was crazy.
It's Thor going up against Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom stops Stormbreaker just without much effort. Obviously showing us the power that...
Yes, because Thor... Because when Thor was fighting that boy Thanos, there was nothing he could do against Stormbreaker at all. Stormbreaker was frying his shit. He threw that bitch through 6 Infinity Stones. He threw that shit through 6 Infinity Stones. 6 of them. Just put up his hand. He put up his hand. And mind you, Thor charged that shit up. Thor charged that shit up through lightning. And all his power, Rune Awakening, all that. Bro put his hand up and stopped that shit.
Doctor Doom is a serious foe and threat to them. And this obviously sets up the anticipation and everything. The trailer just really flows well together.
But look, I guarantee he's going to win this movie. Doomsday's going to win this movie. He's going to win this movie. Like, it's not like going to be any other movie, bro. They're going into a whole new atmosphere of a threat. Just like with Thanos, they went to a whole new atmosphere of a threat. You can't just have a happy ending every time. Not every movie, bro. Not every movie, bro. So a lot of people gonna get smoked for sure. There's gonna be dead bodies. There's gonna be a lot of people. But I think in the end, I'm not even gonna go that far. But I'm just gonna say off the beginning of a new saga. There's a beginning of a new saga, right? So they beat Thanos. Boom. They all probably feel no effects after that shit. Because we didn't see the full emotion. We just seen the funeral of Iron Man and the whole nine, and that's a closing point. And then Steve going back in time, spending time with Peggy. We're going to see and anticipate what we are going to. We already know the first couple movies. The first movie I think for sure, and then he's going to win, get a victory, and then like I said, I'm not gonna go that far, but I think the first movie he's going to get a
I
victory.
would say, especially for the
That's my
first
opinion.
official trailer, which we know not a whole
Because they
lot.
don't know what to do against him. How the fuck? Just like with Thanos, they had to sit and try to find a solution. All of them. It takes all the Avengers to figure out how to defeat this strong ass foe and don't understand his power. Look at Thor. This is not big body Thor either.
About in terms of the story in the movie, this kind of gets you excited, gets you asking. This is going to be the trailer that has a ton of views and everything. Like, it's going to be pushed hard, so you can see that they're definitely pushing a lot of mystery and questions for people to ask, and I absolutely love that. Thank you for checking out
W video. Appreciate him for breaking out of what's it called W goddamn trailer. So out there on YouTube, like I said, if you're not part of the Discord and the Twitch, is gonna be linked in the description. Appreciate you guys for checking out the vid.